Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Happy Friday, Pippi. Happy Friday, Maud. Happy Friday, Michael.
Happy Friday
We're
to you
doing it.
too, honey.
Thanks. We made it.
We're doing it. And Tibbs is over there scratching some cardboard boxes.
How's everybody doing? Did you have a good week? I got these. Here, let me.
Hey, T. Hey, Emma.
Try to get it. Brighten it up a little bit. I got some more magic artist proofs. So these are the ones that are blank on the back, so I could do sketches or whatever. And I got this one, which is Indomitable Creativity. And they came in like 3 ways. There's like this foil that is just gorgeous. It comes in a rainbow, so you can remember that God won't flood the earth again. I don't know if you can tell what it's a picture of. It's this sharpshooter lady who's like shooting her ray blaster or whatever and makes a perfect target after, or a perfect bullseye after shooting, bouncing off everything in the bar. And they did 3 versions of it. There's the foil, there's the normal, and then there's borderless, is that what I think they call this one?
Yeah.
And it's like
With texture.
it's like textured and it's shiny. It's beautiful. The black printed like these kind of raised lines. Very fancy pants. And then they also did this guy, Void Slime, which has this tough guy. This one might be easier to see. Has this tough guy getting zapped by a slimy bartender.
Hi, Math Raptor.
Hey, Math Raptor. And they also I did not know, I'm not like as down, like I don't understand everything that Magic the Gathering does, but they made these too, which are super cool, which is
Hi,
the
Kitty.
Void Slime.
That's called an art card.
It's called an art card.
With the foil signature.
It has a little foil signature you can see. Gorgeous. And then on the back it looks like this. It says that stuff. But it's pretty neat. We've had these on the website and I've been selling them for a couple weeks now, and it's been really fun. Like there's a lot of
not those exact cards
not these
yet.
exact ones, but other Magic cards that I've drawn. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total, and one of those is a double-sided card. So it's kind of 8 pieces of artwork I've done.
Did you count or is that including those 2 as well?
I'm counting like this group as one card because it's the same card.
Right.
Yeah. Which is wild. Like I never really set out to do Magic cards. I was really amazed when they asked me to do it, and it's been really fun. Have found it very fulfilling so far. And then today I'm just drawing for fun. Attempting a Magic card altar this weekend. Ooh.
Oh, that'll be fun to see when you're done, Pippi.
Yeah, that sounds. There's a lot of really cool altered cards out there. Oh, I don't know if I said hi to Keith or Kitty or Emma. How's it going, everybody? Getting your framed Tyler painting. It's all downhill from there, yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean, man. Wow, Matt, you got 4 of my cards? That's awesome. Had a local craft show this past weekend. Oh, good. I'm glad it went well. That's fun. I have a little bit of FOMO about C2E2 going on right now. And next weekend is Free Comic Book Day, which I'm very excited for. We're doing that at my local library. Oh, nice. Everyone loves a panoramic dinosaur print.
That's true. And Keith, yeah, your framing of the sword, right?
Was beautiful. Yeah.
The Lonesome Hunters sword. Yeah, that looked amazing. You picked a good mat for it. And frame.
Let's move this camera just a little bit.
Geez, 13 by 38 inch posters.
Wow, yeah, that's a really big poster.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It sounds like it's going to be like really tall maybe, or really long.
If it's panoramic, I'd assume it's wide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. I forgot.
I got involved with the library event because I volunteer down at the library regular anyway. And so I'm helping to organize it. I'm actually not going to do I'm not going to have a signing or anything. But we're having some local cartoonists come out, and a cartoonist from Portland, Kat Ferris, is coming out. And we're also going to have, man, I can't remember Garrett's last name. We're going to have a guy come out and teach kids comics making workshops. It's going to be really fun. Knock on wood.
Keith is setting up a free comic book day too.
Oh, nice.
Setting
up at the Self Art Prints. Yeah, that'll be fun. Free comic book days are.
They're like a holiday for us.
Yeah,
they're
they're very fun, I think.
We used to on free comic book day, we would drive around the city and go to all the comic shops and pop in and buy stuff from them and get the free comic books, because every place has different stuff. It was a fun outing.
Yeah, and it was like a fun opportunity to just go see every comic shop that maybe I hadn't been to in a long time.
We tried that here when we first moved here and could not find many places.
Yeah. Our town is so small that, and we're kind of far away from any big town. The closest comic shop is 45 minutes away, I think.
Mm-hmm. And really, the closest best comic shops are still like 2 hours away.
Hour and a half, probably.
Depending on the day and traffic.
Yeah, that's true.
So what are you doing today, honey?
So I am just drawing for fun. This kind of looks like a comic book page, but so far it is just two drawings next to each other. I've been itching to do just some black and white stuff, and yeah, just decided to make some time today to do that for fun.
Just gonna ink and not do any coloring?
I'm not gonna do any coloring. At least I'm not planning on it. Maybe if the mood, if I feel like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, hoods can be tricky. Like they're like the same as a hat, basically. That's just like getting them to fit on your head or on the head of the figure you're drawing can be really tricky sometimes.
Or like hair.
Yeah. Yeah, hair is also like a hat.
Yeah. Do you have any tips?
I guess the tip is to draw the whole bald head and then figure out how to fit the hat or fit the hair or hood or whatever on top of it. For hats, I guess the trick is to draw a circle around where the hat falls. Like I would draw this circle on my empty skull and then on the empty skull that I'm drawing and then figure out the hat from there.
Math Raptor's been practicing baseball caps this week.
Practicing drawing them?
I guess so.
It's tricky. Baseball caps are easier than fedoras, but they're both tricky, man. I think baseball caps are way easier when they like have a really bent brim as opposed to a more flat one.
Or a rounded one, even?
What do you mean by rounded?
Well,
like this kind of round?
Yeah, without the little peak, without a fold.
Yeah, just as long as they have that like shape. Bo V got visors so you can do that hat and hair. Golf visors. Hey Edie, good to see you.
Edie.
Oh, Keith, that is a good question. Anyone else back the Core of Discovery Manifest Destiny board game? In case you don't know, the company that made the Harrow County board game is kickstarting their next game, which is called Core of Destiny, and it's based off of the comic called Manifest Destiny, and you can get the Harrow County board game as a what do they call that? Where they added on to the Kickstarter thing, like
I can't remember what that's called. An incentive of some type.
Yeah, it's some sort of incentive. So you can get both board games if you want to. So if you missed it the last time and you want to get the Harrow County board game now, that might be a good way to go.
A perk? An add-on?
A perk or an add-on?
Goal.
Stretch goal. I don't think it's a stretch goal though. I think it's just I think you can just get it.
Keith says there's a tier that includes the Harrow County board game and that includes the Core of Destiny game and mind management too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, mind management is the Matt Kint game, which I haven't played, but
Keith says it's all 3.
Oh, you can get all. Well, yeah, I guess.
County,
do you have to get all 3, or can you get?
I guess this tier is getting all 3.
It's getting like
Destiny, Harrow County, and mind management games together.
Okay.
That's pretty fancy.
Yeah, that would be like the every off the page game tier. Because I think those are the only 3 games they've made so far. It's the $400 tier. Oof.
Yeah.
Man, that is rough.
I mean, it seems. a lot of games.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, games are expensive nowadays. And anyone who saw the unboxing of Harrow County, it's justified. That's a very Bergman-esque death. Thanks, Edie. I need to watch... What's that movie with Bergman's death where that's the one where they play chess, right? Black and white.
The Seventh Seal?
The Seventh Seal. I think that is it.
Yep. Tugboat. Tugboat and ED confirm.
I have never seen that, and I really should, because I've seen, like, screenshots of it. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh, that looks sick. I should watch that.
Yeah. Oh, Bovie is asking if this is a new comic you're drawing.
No, not really. This is just for fun. This is just, this is just fucking around, really. I used to do regularly these comics that I would call not comics. And it's just like I would have this page sitting on my desk, and then
It was like your warm up.
yeah, it was like my warm-ups. I would do some random panel every morning to get started. And that's kind of what this was gonna be. Like, I was like, oh, I'll just do... I just took a page, divided it into, well, really only 2 panels so far. And then started drawing crap in there.
Let me see if I can find some of them.
Yeah, are they in the thing? Mott's gonna see if she can find some of my not comics. A young Max von Sydow? I don't know who that is, actually.
I should leave the news, wouldn't you think?
Yeah. Maybe. How artistic are they?
I'll let you see. Bits are pretty obscure.
Saw some cool Bernie Wrightson Batmans today. Never seen him do Batman before. And everyone Batman was in a tree. They were cool as hell. Never seen Batman in a tree either. I don't know if I've seen those. Bernie Wrightson did that Batman the Cult story. Which I haven't read in a long, long time, but when I was a kid and read it, it was really, really intense. It was like Batman gets kidnapped by a cult and then tortured and brainwashed until he joins the cult. And it's a pretty incredible Batman story, actually, that it got made, because it's basically Batman loses through the whole thing until the very end. And even then, like, his winning is kind of like barely. I can't remember who wrote that, though. But it is actually really gorgeous. The focus is off a little bit. I think I have the autofocus on. Is that any better? It still looks a little bit out of focus to me. If I do that, no, this, no. Hey, Ed. It's good to see you. I'm glad you could make it. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, it's a little bit gnarly. It's taken me a while to get to the 3-camera setup. But I got it now so that I can actually, like, when it's time to start the stream, I can usually get it set up in just like 5 minutes. Oh, thanks, man. Man, something has been going wrong with this ink lately. I wonder if I need to throw this bottle out and start over. It's just like so... I don't know how it's showing up on the stream, but it's just like gray. It's not quite black. It's kind of frustrating.
Here's the one that was
Oh, okay.
questionable. But,
Yeah, I can show that, I think.
okay, it's pretty obscured.
Ma grabbed some not comics. I haven't seen these in a while. They'll be fun.
Yeah, it was fun finding them.
So like this was one where I was just working. I was very interested in an experiment that I'm still kind of interested in, trying to do a thinner line, but then watercolor over the top.
Hi, Dylan.
This is all nibs, I think, with a little bit of brush maybe. But I thought that was kind of cool. This foot, it's a little dark, but it's a good foot. Hey, Dylan. Heard Becky Cloonan say once that if your ink is too watered down, she leaves the cap overnight to thicken it up. I wonder if that would help. It might.
You've done that before.
I have done that before. Maybe, yeah, maybe that's the problem. Is maybe I've just gotten better at remembering to put my cap on my on my ink.
Because we've got a mischievous cat.
Yeah. So this one's really old. This is like, actually a lot of these are really old. Like I think this is 2010 or 11. It's pretty fun. This one is like all nib. That's pretty great. Like I like the doing the captions on there, but don't actually say or like lead anywhere.
Hey, Mark. You're just in time for show and tell.
Yeah, I like this one actually. I haven't actually seen this one in a long time. This coyote is like, I'm really happy with that.
It looks a little bit like our dog, our previous dog, Metatron.
Yeah. This one has a little, I'm sorry, Jack. I think I copied this straight from a Jack Kirby panel. Yeah, and this is definitely like 2010 or 11-ish. Same thing with this guy. A little bit of color, like ink wash on there, though. These are all just like random letters. That's funny.
ED says those not comics are definitely comics worthy.
Yeah, I think I had the idea that I would eventually like put together a whole book of these.
Still could.
I still could, but yeah. This one's like another one where I was practicing with nibs. And it turned out really good. There's a lot of brush on this. Like all the black is like really dark black is brush. And this is back when I was using... No, actually this is probably not. This is probably... Well, it might be. There was a... What was the black that I used to use? It was called like Super Black or something. And it was like... It was an acrylic ink. No, it wasn't Sumi. I think it was acrylic, but it was so black and so thick. It was like syrup. It was beautiful. And this one's really fun. This bear.
Ed and Keith are both commenting on the lettering in some of these, honey.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you like them?
Yeah, they like it.
I really wish I had the time and courage to letter a whole comic.
Now that's a print, right? That I think the original.
Yeah, I did
is
make it.
Up in...
This is the original right here.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but I did make a print of this. This one I would actually say is a comic because I thought of it as being a narrative. Same with the bear, actually. I guess I thought of this as being a narrative. This one's dated 2009. Yikes. It still looks good, though, I think. A lot of the times I'll look at my stuff from back then and I'm just like, feel very cringy, but I think that's lovely. And this one I still am proud of. This one is 2011. Yeah.
Alright, I'll come get them.
So that's basically what I'm working on tonight, is another one of these. Whatever they is. Oh, thanks, Mark. Were you working in video games still at that point? Yeah, I worked in video games until... It was like the end of 2011 or early 2012, I think.
I think it was the end of 2011.
You know what? I don't think it was that. I think, well... No, it was early 2011 when I quit. It was right around the time that Petrograd came out, and I had started working on B.P.R.D.
Wait, I don't think Petrograd had come out then, did it?
Petrograd came out in August of 2011, but
when we were still
but
in
B.P.R.D. came out. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
B.P.R.D. came out in July, I think, of 2011. So I'd quit working at Sony for a couple months by then. Yeah, Mark, Petrograd came out a month after B.P.R.D. It was so funny, like, I had done 3 books by that point. I'd done Petrograd, and I'd done a fill-in issue for Sixth Gun, and I did B.P.R.D., and I think they came out in the opposite order. So, like, the one that I had done the first, or the last came out first.
Yep.
So I think it went B.P.R.D, Sixth Gun, and then Petrograd all came out. 14 years ago.
Woo.
Ugh. Yeah, it's... I can't believe I've been making comics this long. I really, like... Like, I don't know what I expected. I think I've talked about this before. Like, I don't know what I expected when I got into making comics. But it's gone better than it should have. It's gone pretty good for me. Knock on wood. Yikes.
Okay. I'm looking up the page count for you. Bovie. I did add a couple of pages recently. Here we go. 2,932.
2,932. Does that count Petrograd?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that number is creeping up there. I'm still working on the inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I'm working on, though, is totally worthwhile and exciting.
I think we're going to get original art up for sale again very soon, too, which will be very exciting. Like in a couple weeks. Or a few weeks, or I don't know how many weeks, but it'll be weeks and not months away.
Yes. That's part of what has taken me away from just doing straight inventory.
Tugboat, that I don't think that includes not comics.
No, that does not include not comics. I haven't counted the not comics yet.
I still use that paper on your recommendation. You're talking about the mixed media paper, the Strathmore mixed media stuff, Ed? So that is still what I'm using, and I still love it. Like, I went through a whole thing trying to get testing paper earlier this year, and I could not find anything that I liked better. It's just perfect. Like, it's such a good, like, well, you can do so much with it. It's amazing. You all have picked up the Lonesome Hunters Volume 2 now, right? Yeah. Curious what you all thought of the extra short story in that book. I'm curious too. You're curating years of work, which has got to be crazy exciting. Yeah, it is like, it's kind of exciting because I don't feel like, in the process of making all that work, you don't come up for air very often to really like think about it as like an accomplishment like that.
Yeah.
And because so many times, like I'll finish a project, and then before it's even on shelves, I'm already a couple months into the next thing and don't have time to really reflect on it. So the inventory stuff we've done this year has been pretty extraordinary, actually, for that.
And then getting to see stuff like we did today with the not comics.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to say what they thought of that extra short story in the back, I can read it out loud for you. Bovie, what package, Mr. Crook package, did you receive recently? Says that you have left it on your desk and keep staring at it happily.
Did you get a sketch card? Yeah, Mark, I think that my desire to do the bonus story black and white came from the same thing that I'm feeling for wanting to do this, was just like I haven't done black and white in so long, and it feels good. It's like it's a different muscle. Like it feels like individual marks um, are more important when working in black and white. When I'm working in color, it feels like the overall impact is more important than individual mark making. I don't know if that makes any sense. But it's nice. It's a nice feeling to work like that. A little bit more focused on the minutia of it, kind of.
So Bo says that they have a commission piece to add to their weird collection.
Oh, no way. Was that you? Was that you, Bo? I also reminded me of the illustrations you did for the backup stories in Harrow County. Yeah, Mark, totally. Like the backup stories in Harrow County were so about like
The essays?
yeah, about experimenting with drawing in different styles and stuff. It's funny though, because I feel like they're different styles, but they still feel like me. Like that, I don't think I can do something that isn't very Tylerish.
I'll go grab them.
I received a mixed media sketchbook, and now I'm going to start on character design and get used to the art style that I'm going to use. Oof. That's always like such a big thing. Like working out the style that you want to approach a project with. I always feel like I always feel like I do a bunch of like pre-production work for a project, and then the instant like the first page comes, I just go off in some completely unrelated direction. And it is what it is. I think it always turns out okay, but it's just funny that I can never prepare. I never feel like I prepare. Wolves.
I don't know if this will work since they're all framed.
What are those? Oh. No, I don't want them. Those will be too hard to show.
Okay.
Mott had some of the since so many of the stories in the back of Harrow County were written by Mott, the essays and stuff, I ended up giving them a bunch of the original art. So they're all framed. Oh, don't take them out of the frame, though.
It's already done.
Okay, let me see. So, like, here's the story about the guy riding the coffin in the flood, right?
Yeah. It's the same story as this one.
Oh, yep. And this is a picture of how I imagined baby Mott with a broken toe. That looks awful. You might have actually posed for that.
Oh, maybe.
There you go. What was the inspiration behind that, Mott? Did you write wolves? Mott didn't write wolves. They wrote the
essays in the back of
the essays in Harrow County. Not all of them, but a bunch of them actually.
Yeah, more than they were in. There were at least 5, if not more.
free pics in this economy.
life stuff that that I went through as a kid growing up in North Carolina, where Harrow County takes place. Oh, thanks, Edie. Edie read the one about the Devil's Hoofprints.
Oh.
That's a real folktale and ghost story in where I grew up, and my biological father told me that story, and said that he and a bunch of friends actually went to where the Devil's Hoofprints were, and that no matter how much they tried to stay awake to make sure that the leaves that they covered up the Devil's Hoofprints with, they would try to stay awake, because the story goes that no matter what you cover the hoofprints with, when you wake up, they have been uncovered. The devil does not let them stay covered long. And I heard that story many times from him. Hey, Alex. Good evening to you, too. Yay, I'm glad you liked the ghost stories.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah, the one in the movie theater, Tyler was there, too.
Yeah. I don't think we said it in the thing, but that's where you and I met, was at that movie theater.
I said it in the story, yeah.
So I don't know who this guy is that I'm drawing now. Some guy who's like yelling at death.
Oh, Pippi, yes, the stories from my childhood were all North Carolina, but the story about the ghost in the movie theater, El Wapo, that is from California, in Temecula. You can still go to the theater now, even though it looks different. And the people that work there say that El Wapo still haunts the place.
At least the last time we talked to somebody, but that was a long time ago.
That was like 10 years ago?
10 or 15 years ago? Lived in Raleigh for a year. It's been a long time since you've been to North Carolina.
It's been 5 years?
Yeah, since you've even been for a visit?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, shit, that was right after we moved here.
Yeah.
Just like a week or two.
Mike Mignola is coming out with a story that has folktales in it. he's doing a Pinocchio book.
Oh, that's interesting.
ED asked, was the art for the wolves inspired by Studio Ghibli?
Oh, like maybe some of the Princess Mononoke stuff? No. I would say no. The real inspiration behind that was just the idiom of saying that somebody was raised by wolves. And then I was like, what would that be like to be raised by a wolf?
Did that story come before the wolf child? Or come with your...
No, that was sort of as an end thing. Like, I actually came up with it, the wolf story, specifically to avoid having to do more sketchbook stuff in the back.
Yeah.
Like, I always feel like I just don't ever do enough work to show good sketchbook stuff in the back of my books. So I wanted to do something that had a little more value. And I feel like that story is pretty vague, but it does give you like some origin story stuff about the wolf child. I talk about it. I don't want to talk about it too much because of spoilers, but if you want spoilers, you can go to the Comic Book Couples Counseling podcast and find my most recent interview with them, and then we go full spoilers.
Dylan's doing a story, trying to figure it out. That's cool. Are you going to make it into a comic, Dylan?
Oh, and Keith asks, will the complete Harrow County have anything that's not in the library editions? And I think the complete is supposed to have everything in it. Like, I think it's supposed to have all of the essays and all of the tales from Harrow County and everything. So do the library... I don't even remember if the library editions have the tales from Harrow County in them. Seems like they should.
The big library editions do.
Okay. Yeah, so if you have the library editions, I don't think that there's going to be anything new in the complete edition. Other than the cool form factor. Actually, I feel like the complete edition and the Harrow County board game would make like a very fun sitting on your shelf thing. If you can get the satchel edition of the board game.
Bovie was saying, I keep looking at the complete Harrow County pre-order, but it's so creepy. LOL.
Yeah, I had a couple ideas for covers for that. But that was the only good idea, really, was doing the drawer.
There's so much good conversation going on here. It's hard to keep up. I love it. Oh yeah, Dylan says that it will be a comic. And Edie gave advice saying steal from your favorite authors. Authors? Steal from your favorite authors too. Just get inspired. Do you know if the complete Harrow County will have Chris Schweitzer's introductions in it?
Oh, that is a good question.
Did the
Yeah, the library editions did. Yeah, I would assume, yeah. Oof, man, that's a good question. I should double check on that and see. I think they should be.
Wait. Did I know that you did a dedication to me?
I don't know if you knew that or not.
I'm flipping through the Harrow County Library edition looking for Chris Schweitzer's intro, and I just now saw that Tyler did a dedication that says, "For Ma'at, the finest person I have ever met." I don't know that I knew that was there until now.
That's very cute.
You're cute.
I guess when you've been married as long as we have, you forget to tell your spouse that you've dedicated a book to them.
It's a common problem, apparently.
You know.
I'm not seeing Chris Schweitzer's introduction in this first library edition.
He might not have started with the first one. I don't remember. It's been a while already. He did like full comics.
Oh, he did full comics for it. Maybe it's in the very back.
No, it would be at the beginning, yeah.
It would be at the beginning. It's not there then. Oh, I hope that it's in the complete.
Yeah, check the second volume.
Okay. Mark, earlier you said that you liked the second illustration that Tyler did for my Sleeping with Water Moccasin story, and I just came to that, and I can see which one it is.
Is that the
It's
with the
one.
deer shadow?
Yeah. Of me sleeping on the back stoop.
Yeah. He did those for volume 2, 3, and 4.
Oh, 2, 3, and 4. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah, if I remember right, like, Chris came to us and was like, asked if he could write a foreword, which is incredibly generous. Chris is a great guy. And he loved Harrow County. Like, he loves all that folklore stuff. And he was a very big supporter of that book.
I do see one of them in volume 2. So they probably all are in here. Oh yeah! Alex said, can't wait for the book club to discuss more of Harrow County. Looking forward to it in a couple of weeks. I totally just found that podcast, and I've been listening to it too, and not just to the Harrow County episodes. What is that one called?
The one that Mark's on?
The Book Club Member Comics podcast. Yeah, so, sometimes Mark does a guest appearance and they've been talking about Harrow County, reading it from beginning to end.
Yeah,
for a while now.
Those are always fun because they're taking their sweet time doing it. And they'll talk about stuff that I haven't thought about in years now. I haven't listened to the newest one yet, though. I should. Actually, I haven't been able to listen to any podcasts for the last week or so.
I took over for you then. Keith, the podcast is called Book Club Member Comics.
Book Club Member Comics.
You're welcome, Keith. And Dylan. And Dylan, that's fun that you have notes on 5 story ideas. I look forward to hearing what you do with those stories, with the ideas.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, man, I need to come up with a more unified way to keep my story ideas organized.
I put them all in my notes app on my phone.
Yeah.
Then I can just in the middle of the night when I wake up from a dream, I can just quickly pick up my phone and put it in there. And then it's on my phone or on my computer whenever I need it. Emma uses Scrivener for that.
Yeah, I always feel like I should be able to do that. But man, I just have not been able to enjoy using Scrivener. Like every time I own a copy, and every time I open it up and try to like start using it, I'm like, oh, this should work great, and then it just never does. The actual way that I do my story ideas lately is I have my little scheduler guy where I just keep my weekly schedule. I'm not going to show you my actual schedule though. And then in the back I have a notebook that's like my writing in my story ideas. But that's only like recently that I've started doing that in this thing. So it's got limited story ideas. But it's nice because I keep it with me at all the time.
I think it just... I think it's... what works is going to be different for every person. For
sure.
Nodes.
And like what works for me right now might not work for me in 6 months.
Yeah.
Which is sort of the frustrating part for me. I think I definitely need to leave the top off my ink overnight and see if it'll thicken up.
Hello, Zayu. Hello from Hello to you.
Hey, hey, Jackie. Terrible at writing down story ideas and notes. I'll just sketch something out in a sketchbook and then never can find it again. Right? I have so many. I used to like treat my sketchbooks with story ideas also, where I would just be sketching stuff and then put a story idea down and just write it out longhand. And yeah, they just disappear into those things. But this is a little more focused. Like this book, this little notebook here is, I think, only like 42 pages or something. And I write really small, so I can fit a lot of stuff in there, but it feels very manageable to me.
Mm.
Like I can find stuff. I use Scrivener for novel work. I can't use it for anything else because it rattles my brain. Oh, you know what? I posted on BlueSky, but it's worth reiterating here. I'm going to pull up the guy's name. I found a comic book template for Microsoft Word by Fred Van Lente, is how I think you pronounce his name. He's the guy who wrote Cowboys and Aliens. So if you look up, actually, if you just go look at my BlueSky posts, you can find I posted a link. But he has on his website, there's a version of his comic book template called Rob Marlin's template with auto numbering fields, and it is like, oh, it's the best. It is such a good template.
He says that's the one he uses.
Oh, Richard Pace says put a piece of gauze or thin tissue over your ink while you leave it open. It reduces dust getting there while evaporating. That's a great idea.
Maybe you could rubber band it too to keep it on there, and then you won't have to worry about it spilling a Tibbs.
Oh yeah. I don't think she's sort of lost interest in my ink water. Well, I say that, but she'll probably like regain interest the second I've said that out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too much of a caveman. Gotta make my thumbnails and notes on paper. Yeah, it makes sense. I'm sort of like like when I write, I have to thumbnail at the same time, and doing it on paper definitely, I don't know. Like I always sort of oscillate between doing it on paper and doing it on my iPad. Like doing pulling up Clip Studio and doing it on that is pretty effective for me. Trying to decide if my series should be open for kids to be able to read or make it a bit more rated R. I have a story idea that is a bit heavy, which is a bit different than the other story ideas. You know, my opinion, Dylan, for whatever it's worth, is that kids can take the heaviness way more than adults can. And I have like I did Lonesome Hunters, which is, you know, really about, you know, intergenerational trauma and stuff, and it got nominated for the American Library Association nominated it for like a teens graphic novels award or something, and it's like full of cusses too. So it's like I did not expect it to be a teen book. Kitty uses that same template too. It's a popular template. I have not tried using that script template that Steens and some other people put together.
Oh, I wasn't aware that there was one.
Yeah, they were trying to put together something that could work as sort of an industry standard, which I think is great. But I don't know if that ended up being I think the Fred Van Lente one is like a better. It's a more utilitarian script format.
Have you seen the one that Steve?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the things about it is that it just takes up a lot of space. But it's good. Like the thing about the Steens one, I call it the Steens one, but it was like a whole group of people.
Yeah.
Steens is the only person that I know who worked on it. But it's like it's good because it just gives you a framework if you're not familiar with comic scripting that can help you understand how to do it better.
The standard comic script. You think that's what's called?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Oh, copying and pasting my script into Clip Studio gets all messed up if I use tabs. I've never lettered in Clip Studio. Like, I haven't found it, like, I haven't really experimented with it much recently. It used to be really bad for, what do they call them, ligatures or whatever, where, like, different letter orders get different characters, so it doesn't look, it looks a little more handwritten. And I don't think that Clip Studio still supports that entirely. So I do all my lettering in Illustrator right now. I have done it in Affinity Designer, which is really an affordable alternative to Illustrator. But the publishers I work with all still use Illustrator, so I decided to go back. Although I feel like maybe having a sit down with the next time I start a project and being like, let me talk to your production people and let's work out the actual pipeline for using Designer, because I think more people should be using that. It's a great program. Sister's kid accidentally saw Jurassic Park as a toddler. That's great. Right. I find it. Focus more on writing about what you want to read. Oh yeah, no, I agree with Math Raptor on that one. I think like you want to think about your reader as far as like what a person would need to understand your story, but thinking of an audience as like who's going to enjoy the story is like, oh man, that's madness. Just make it for yourself. Everyone will always react better to something that you made because you love it than something you made because you think someone else will love it. I found that to be like very consistently true.
You know yourself way better than you know strangers.
Yeah, and like I think most strangers too will actually like resonate, like the truth and passion that when you make something that you made for yourself, like strangers will feel that and it'll resonate with them more.
Mm-hmm. They'll find you.
Oh, Jackie, Illustrators, it's not that hard, especially now with YouTube. Jesus Christ, like you could learn it in a weekend probably. I mean, to really, really learn it, like anything, it's hard, but to get like up and going, it's easy. Seeing RoboCop when I was 5 or 6, when the bad guy's melting, then gets hit by a car and turns into goo. You'll never forget that.
Hey, Chris, Comic Tropes.
Hey, Comic Tropes, how you doing? I think I'm just about to call it quits for the night. We were just goofing, making some random thing.
A non-comic.
Although it feels kind of like there's a story brewing here, where some guy is yelling at death.
I like how squinty he is.
He's like, yeah, he's really pissed off.
And that Death Skull is a smartass.
Get off my lawn, Death. Oh, thanks, Comic Troops. Yeah, I'm kind of like, I've just been aching to ink with a pen more and do small hatching stuff.
What is a Snickers comic?
I don't know what a Snickers comic is. Oh, yeah, thanks, Keith. Yeah, hit that likes button, everybody. Gonna kick Death's butt.
I could see having some conflict if Death was your neighbor.
Yeah, he's like, look, Death, you can keep your lawn a decimated wasteland of broken buildings, but I'm trying to plant these tulips. My tulip bulbs hate it.
And stop playing your death metal so loud.
Keep your spears on your side of the property line. All right, I think I'm going to call it quits. I think this was a good way to end my week.
Thank you, everybody. Yeah, if you didn't click like yet and like the episode, please do.
Death is like, let me borrow your hedge trimmer. You can borrow my spear. You can borrow my death spear.
Death spear.
All right. Well, I hope everybody has a great weekend, and I hope nobody has to work.
And if you do, I hope you have a wonderful day.
Yeah, I hope you have a great day at work if you do. And yeah, I hope you all have a great week. I'll see you next Friday. And don't forget to tell the people you love how much you love them. And I love all you guys. All right.
Bye, everyone.
I'll see you next week. Bye.